Nhà Trang nhỉ, cũng là một người rất là sâu sắc, hiểu chuyện. Đấy, gọi là tầm nhìn xa trông rộng, những lời khen của Trang là hoàn toàn đúng đắn.
Thôi,
Okay, now let's continue. Let's do the speaking test. Let's focus on speaking part three. Give me a moment. Let me pull some question from the forecast. I think that you can use questions and topics in the forecast, but they are only as useful as your flexibility allows them to. I wonder if it makes sense. Okay, we have a few questions here. Let's talk about ambitions. So I imagine that the speaking part two topic is going to be something like describe a goal or ambition that you had as a child, right? Now let's talk about ambitions. The first question is, you know that, for the first frame of speaking part three, questions tend to be more general, right? So what types of ambitions do children often have? Yeah, that's the first question. What kinds of ambitions do children often have?
well, I think there are several ambitions that children might have. The first thing is that they are expected to get higher performance, academic performance. I mean, they it's from their parents' expectation, but I think children tend to um, have ambition to get higher score while learning at school, or they sometime when they, for example, when they take in a competition at school, they want to get their prize, which means they need to do their best and achieve what they want to achieve what they want. So it depends on the purpose and the action that they need to do, but I think every children both have a lot of ambition.
So, in addition to ambitions related to academic results, do they have any other ambitions?
Well, I'm not sure about this, but I guess yes.
Hmm.
Um, outside of academic result, I think in daily life they also have a lot of ambitions. I mean, for example, when they, as I told you before, when they take part in an outdoor activity and they want to be the winner. I mean, when they take any competition that with their friends or their and I mean they need to be from the winner and to get the prize or get the award, and would make them more um, concentrate on what they are doing and stay
Thank you.
focused on
Thank
them.
you. Do you think that children can have career-related ambitions?
I think yes, because without any clear I mean without clear and focused ambitions, they cannot achieve long-term success. I mean, they need to have a sense of direction, and without any ambition they don't have the motivation to achieve what they want.
Oh, Chang, we've been through this. First of all, I do think that this time around you sort of hit the ground running. Your fluency got much better over time, but somewhere down the line, you essentially relapsed. You resorted to, talking about reasons and consequences. This is not exactly a hard question, but like from my perspective, your answers were okay. Well, they had meaning, but these ideas were, in my opinion, inappropriate. The thing is that how can I say this? Like, I agree with the first answer. Like, a lot of children have ambitions related to, academic performance. Like they want to get the top score in the class, or if they, take part in an academic competition, they want to get the first prize and receive like a sort of recognition from their peers and their teachers, right? That part is fine. But for the second part, I think that you can certainly talk about the fact that a lot of children do have ambitions as far as their future careers are concerned. Um, but I feel like it's a bit inappropriate to say that, without such ambitions, they would be lost. Because you do realize that we're talking about kids, right?
Yeah.
It's not that big of a deal. Some of them aspire to become, presidents. Some of them want to have their own businesses. Some of them just want to kick rocks and, have fun with friends. Some of them have no ambitions whatsoever. They don't know what they're going to do with their life, and it's fine, right? So,
Sorry, can I now can I ask?
yes,
I did practice, and you told me that try to give example, but I have one problem.
yes,
I can think of example immediately. I mean, when it's a familiar topic, I did practice, but when it come to the topic that I didn't prepare, I can't think of any example. So I try to think, should I need to take a look at other forecast question and prepare before? I I didn't prepare this topic, so I have I don't know any example to give.
it's fine. I mean, you do have to have a wide range of experiences. So I do think that it's something you can do. All right.
Mm,
Um, and I understand, the inability to come up with examples when you're like asked questions completely, out of your normal comfort zone. I mean, I've been on that end more than a few times, and I do, and I have to tell you, I mean, even at this level, there are certain questions, there are certain topics that I can't think of like specific examples for. So I'm not talking from the perspective of someone who's better than you and telling you what to do. I'm telling you about examples because I'm struggling with that task too. Okay. So
yeah.
look, Chang, I don't think that it's gonna get easier, to be honest, because you're hearing from the horse mouth here. I'm telling you that even I am struggling. Not just me, not that not that I'm not that special, to be honest. It's
Yeah.
just that it's always gonna be difficult. Okay.
No, no.
So yeah, do what you must. Look at other forecast questions, okay? Or just try to, take criticisms in stride and then you improve,
Mm,
okay? Because for this particular session, it costs
yeah.
nothing. But if it's a test and it's gonna cost you 4.6 million,
Mm,
right? I mean, I have paid more than a few
uh,
times.
uh,
Right. You know that I have numbers, right? Not just
yeah.
nines, but
Yeah.
also 7, 7.5, 8.5, and 8. So I have paid. So
Mm,
look, Chang, I understand your struggle. And this is the only time, okay? Only time you're gonna get any sympathy from me. All right. Now fix your answer. That's all.
okay.
So let's do it again. We're
Mm,
going to talk about high academic performance. Don't drag the parents in because you're sort of confusing the examiner. It's about children. You can say, I think that, a lot of children have ambitions related to their academic performance at school. For
mm,
instance, a lot of kids want to get like straight A's, especially Asian kids, mostly because their parents also sort of like inspire them to have that sort of objective, and other children might want to get first or second prizes in academic competitions related to mathematics and science. I mean, these are very common goals to have, especially among young kids who like studying, or at least, find the subjects that they are learning somewhat meaningful and exciting, right? Give examples and talk about, what kinds of children might have these goals, right?
Mm,
And then you can talk about career. You
mm,
can give some examples of what kinds of careers do children often aspire to pursue in the future. It doesn't mean that they're gonna actually become, professionals working in these fields, but I think that it's very common to hear children saying something like, I want to be a rock star. I want to be, a scientist. Wait, hold on. Kids don't say that these days. They want to hop on TikTok and do dance videos and like earn millions of dollars.
mm,
Okay, so do that.
mm.
It doesn't get easier, to be honest. It's just that you get more thick-skinned.
Okay.
1 minute.
So,
So no,
yeah.
no, 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 no. Let's do this. What types of ambitions do children often have?
Well, I think a lot of children might have their own ambitions. I think for for example, some children might prefer to get a good score at school, maybe because their parents did inspire in them, so they want to get their high score in their academics or get the top. Um, I think, or another example would be some might prefer to get a second or the first prize in the competition just because they want to, stand out from the crowd. Um, and I think a lot of um, and for another example of this would be some of my students. I mean, they did share with me that they want to be a rock star or they want to earn a lot of money, and make the video on TikTok, things like that.
Thank
And
you.
I think all of this,
Thank you. Let's continue. That should be fine.
yeah,
Do you want to do it again?
I think I should do it again.
Sure. It's
Yeah,
fine. Look, Chang, it's fine. If you're not satisfied with your answer, just do it again. But this is the last time we'll move on to a different question,
yeah,
okay?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So what types of ambitions do children often have?
Yeah, I think children might have their own ambition. For example, some children might want to get higher score at school. I mean, sometimes their parent inspired them to get a good result. So another student would like to, take the first prize or second prize in school competitions just because they want to stand out from the crowd. Or another example would be things like some of my students yesterday they told me that they want to get a to become a rock star or earn a lot of money from making videos on TikToks. And I think all of that would be a common goal that children might have
Thank you.
related to their,
Not I thinks, I think.
yeah. Is it better a little bit?
A bit better,
Yeah,
a bit, but not
yeah,
I thinks. It's I.
yeah. I think.
Okay. What? Okay, let's continue. Let's move on to the second question. Why should children have ambitions?
I think children should have ambitions because they give them a sense of direction and the motivation to work towards these goals. Um, for example, when a kid have a goal, they usually more motivated to study hard or to develop new skills. Um, and I think their ambitions would be changed as they grow up. But I think having something to follow to aim for would help them become more confident and stay resilient in the future.
Hmm. Let's do it one more time. Why should children have ambitions?
I think children should have ambitions because they give them a sense of directions and something to work towards. For example, a kid who have a goal might might be more. motivated to study hard and to develop their skills. Um, though sometimes their ambitions might change over the time, but I think having something to do with to aim for would help them become more confident and resilient in the future.
The line of reasoning is fine, but then again, you relied still excessively on reasoning. It was fine, but I wanted to hear more examples.
Oh,
That's all.
yeah.
Let's do this one more time. Like you were able to like hit your stride towards the end of your answer, but I wanted to hear that sort of confidence and fluency right out the gate. Like, don't just repeat like why should children have ambitions? Well, I think that children have should have ambitions because you can totally use other structures. You can say something like, well, I guess there are many benefits, right? Or you can say there are many reasons for that. Now, first of all, I think that, ambitions can, give children a sense of motivation, and, that would encourage them to, work harder towards their goals. Now, as I've mentioned, I mean, there are kids who aspire to be like very well-rounded students. And no doubt, I mean, if they have that kind of goal in their mind, they're gonna like dedicate lots of hours to revising and doing tests and things like that. In a similar way, for kids who want to become, doctors or lawyers, they're gonna, focus from an early age and, learn things related to the professions that they want to do in the future. They might watch shows that give them very specific knowledge. You see, like I can go on and on and on and on. The thing is that you
Oh,
pick an example and then you
oh,
drag on from there. After
yeah,
that, after that, look, you have two lines for reasoning, Chan. You have two lines, that's it. But if you pick the right example, you can go on and talk about, wait, okay, good. So they're motivated, right? So what does that
yeah,
mean? They're going to work hard. What does that mean? They're going to do lots of exercises. They're going to attend
oh,
all kinds of classes. They're going to
oh,
watch all kinds of shows. Instead of watching like brain rotting kind of content on TikTok, they're going to watch programs related to what they want to achieve,
oh,
right? The list goes on.
oh,
The sky is the limit if you pick the right example, as I've mentioned.
yeah.
Okay, let's do it again. Why should children have ambitions?
I think there are several benefits if children have their own ambitions. For example, um, when a kid wants to be a famous footballer, they would spend more time to practice their skill or dedicated a lot of their time to train their physical health. Or when you want to become a doctor or a lawyer, I mean, you need to spend time and focus on learning at a very young age. Focus on the subject that related to your future career, and that would give you good knowledge and the enough time to practice as well as a good sense of direction to work towards your goals. So
That should be fine. Look, all right. I mean, you did manage to apply some of the things that I gave you advice on, but I wanted to hear more, examples like, for kids that want to be doctors and lawyers. Yeah, just you could have just opted for that direction instead of just, working hard. But that's fine, that's fine. Do you want to do it again, or should we move to the next question?
should we move? Yeah, we move to another next question.
Okay. So what do you think of people going after high positions like, you know, becoming a director of a company or a superstar?
Uh, well, it's a tough question to be honest, and I haven't thought about this before. But I I think aiming high isn't wrong if you work towards what would you work towards what you are aiming for. I mean, if you want to get higher position, I mean, to become a director or things like that, you need to, you know, put a lot of effort and dedicated much more time than other people, to be honest. Um, for example, I can't think of any example.
It's not that hard, to be honest. Um, what do you think of people going after higher positions? I mean, clearly these people are very ambitious, and it's fine, right? I think that you have covered the first part really nicely. Like you talked about the fact that, all right, I mean, if you want to, climb the corporate ladder, becoming a director, or essentially, getting a high pay position, you definitely have to be very competitive, right? And in
Mm,
order for you to compete, you definitely need to put in a lot of effort, as you have so rightfully mentioned. You do have to work hard. You have to go the extra mile to prove your capabilities, right? But then you can also say that, sometimes these people can be like, how should I say this? Like they can be overburdened by stress, right? They work towards their goal, but sometimes it might mean that they have to sacrifice precious time with family members, or
mm,
they have to trade off their own health, working long hours without enough breaks, for their bodies to recover. So I think that those who want to like achieve like like very, how should I say this, like those who want to achieve like high positions in society are ambitious, and they definitely need to work hard, but at the same time like, they have to be mindful of whether their goals are actually worth it, because they might have to you know sacrifice a lot of things to in exchange for success.
yeah.
Right. Yeah, so you can think about the high positions. You can talk about superstars like, Taylor Swift or Beyonce, essentially, these billionaires, and the fact that they have to work hard. And then
Mm,
you talk about how hard they work. And perhaps you can discuss the downside of, going after high positions. You covered the first part already,
mm,
right? It's just that you didn't really present your answer
mm,
in the form of extensions for examples. You know, you could have just said, you know what, I think that these people are very ambitious, and oftentimes like they seem to have like boundless energy. Like when you think about Taylor Swift, for instance, she is super successful right now, or whoever you know that is like super successful. Maybe Sundum MTP, right? He works. Do you know him?
I know, but I'm not a big fan of him.
Oh,
I
sure, fine. So you can talk about other people. You can talk about,
Mm,
billionaires, but just
mm,
give me a name or essentially a specific example, and then you spend, 2 to 3 sentences discussing what it takes for that particular person or group of people to become, so successful, right?
mm,
And you can talk about the fact that, but then their successes are not without a price. That they have to
mm,
work hard, and sometimes like they are so stressed out that they have to be like hospitalized, or they have to seek help from, therapist. Okay.
mm, mm,
Let's do it again. Look, the bottom line for you, Chang, is that like you tend to jump straight to the explanation, which is fine. But I
mm.
think that it would be really nice if you could slide in an example first, and then use the same arguments to explain that example.
Mm.
That's all. Now, what do you think of people going after high positions?
Well, I think there is nothing wrong with aiming high in the future. I mean, for example, people who want to climb in their career ladder, I mean, to become a director or things like that. They need to work hard. They need to dedicate a huge amount of time into their work and training and gaining experiences, which mean they would take a lot of time, more time than others. Or another example would be Elon Musk.
Hmm.
He would be he is a millionaire, and I think to achieve this level, I think he had to do a lot of things with trial and running. He makes mistake and I do it again and again, which mean it's really hard, and sometimes he needs to pay off for that, which means that he needs to deal with a lot of
Thank you.
responsibility, pressure.
Okay, that should be fine. Well, you
Mm,
overdid it, but well, that's the spirit. Try to give me examples. You were talking about like directors in general.
mm.
I think it would be better for you to start talking about um how should I say this? I think it would be better for you to start talking about perhaps a different group of people,
Oh,
right? Perhaps musicians, artists, politicians, teachers,
yeah.
doctors. Okay. And also you need to control the details regarding Elon Musk because essentially you squeezed out all of the
Mm,
nice words to talk about, you know, executives. So when you move to Elon Musk, you ran out of things to say, and it really showed.
yeah.
Okay. But well, that's the spirit. I think that look, Chang, I can't tell you that it's going to get easier with time. You do have to practice, so you do what you must. And
Mm,
when you come in and you're given a topic that is completely out of your comfort zone, I hope that you can take criticisms in stride and just improve your answers. Okay?
okay. Thank you.
Okay, fine. Bye-bye.
Bye bye. See you.
Hmm.